right, cool. Well, man. Hold on, let me cut the music real quick. I don't even remember how long that DJ mix is. Anyway, man, we back with another episode of the Playback Real episode Nueve. For those that don't speak Spanish, that means number 9. And it's been a crazy, to say the least, NFL Week 7. A couple of the games left you on the edge of your seat. There are some games you could have left in the third quarter, would have been straight. The game was what it was. But we gonna get to that game. We gonna get to it. Starting off, it was a thrilling finish with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals and what they call the Icy Hot Bowl, the Unk Bowl, the Over 40 Bowl, whatever you want to call it. Joe Flacco and the Bengals ended up beating the Steelers 33-31. Aaron Rodgers proved he still got his arm for that Hail Mary, but it didn't mean shit because no one caught it. It got batted down. Sunday morning, because apparently this is going to be the new thing now, is Sunday morning football. You had the LA Rams winning 35-7 over the Jags. Really not much to talk about there. If you slept through it, you ain't missed shit. Next game, we had the Patriots and the Titans, 31-13, going to the Patriots, looking like a formidable team. Mike Vrabel got his payback against a team that had fired him, and the Titans are still suffering. Also, Drake May had a nice ass pass to his name Kinshawn Booty. I might have messed up his first name, but I know the receiver from LSU. One of the best deep ball throwers in the league, Drake May, that is. I know people were kind of doubting him last year, rookie year. I wasn't going to jump to the conclusion. Seems they found their quarterback and their coach. Saints lost 14-26 to the Bears. Battle of the former OU quarterback, Spencer Rattler, Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams gave Spencer Rattler another reason to hate him. The Dolphins. He gave up 31 to the Cleveland Browns, only scoring 6 points. And, the clock has been ticking. Actually, the clock is already unalived. It's no longer in use for Mike McDaniel. It's over with. They're cooked. I already said that before. Panthers won 13-6 in a very offensive inept game, especially from the Jets standpoint. They were booing the hell out of Justin Fields. It was embarrassing. This man is running into sacks. He's missing targets with his receivers he's throwing the ball to. Ended up getting benched for Tyrod Taylor, aka T-Mobile. So I mentioned in the Discord, I think that Justin Fields is on his last legs as far as being a starting quarterback in the league. He's going to take like a Geno Smith, Sam Darnold type of year. Because as of right now, I don't see that happening. I just don't see it happening, especially not with the Jets. They're clearly in tank mode. Aaron Glenn, he's not coaching to win games. Time management has been an issue among a whole slew of other things. Said this week in the NFL was wild, but also trash. Not gonna lie. Think it was more scripted. I knew somebody was gonna bring that up. The Patriots and the Falcons 28-3 game. We ain't even there yet. So yeah, like I was saying about the Jets, yeah, they're done for the year, and they could move on from Justin Fields after this year. I wouldn't blame them. They probably gonna move on from Aaron Glenn too, and start over for like the 5th, 6th, 7th time, whatever it's been. Because their last successful quarterback was really Ryan. Well, you could say Ryan Fitzpatrick to a degree, even though they didn't make the playoffs, and before that, Mark Sanchez. Eagles won 28-22. A.J. Brown was the hero in that game. Ironic, considering all the drama, all the stories about, being traded, putting on the trade, possibly going to the Patriots, things of that nature. It's always good when you're winning. It's always good when you're winning. And when you lose, it ain't too hot. I wouldn't be surprised if A.J. Brown found a way to bitch and complain, even though they won. Chiefs won 31-0 over the Raiders. Raiders suck. And now, to the game. Giants was up 19-0 entering the fourth quarter. They looked like they had this one in hand. Scatterbo doing this thing on the ground. Jackson Dart had some flashes here and there in the game. Late in the game, he had the bad interception. Couple overthrows that cost him. One of them could have potentially been for a touchdown to Jalen Hyde, or maybe even just got him to the red zone. And then there was one he threw in the triple coverage. But the main one to blame for this is their kicker. 2 points. Just two. If you make two extra points, if everything played out the way that it did, Denver, even if they got the 33 points and stuff, they wouldn't have won the game. They would have been a point shy. Of course, we know why they won the game. They wanted to honor the Super Bowl 50 team. They wanted to induct Demaryius Thompson to the Broncos Ring of Honor. So of course, on a night like this, they weren't gonna lose. They had to make sure it was as dramatic and suspenseful as possible. It got to the point where the Broncos took the lead and the Giants took it back just for the Broncos to end up winning the game later on. But 33 points in one quarter is insane. Obviously, peep the number. But 33 points, that shit don't even look real. Like if you just look at the box score of that game, that shit don't look real. Like, hold up, 33 points in the fourth quarter and they won? Yeah, no. No. Not even remotely believable. But you know, Denver, they're 5-2. What's good, Bill Cosby? That name cracked me up every time, man. Could have understood if the Dolphins lost, but by that many points, though, Tua is cooked. He been cooked, to be honest. After last year, it was already over. That's when Tyreek Hill was getting real vocal about basically wanting out of Miami. And he's still there, obviously not playing. But we saw what was going to happen very soon, and we knew entering the season it wasn't going to get no better. What's up, DJ DG? What's up, Bronze in the building? Someone said they're trying to give war. Damn it, I just saw it. I hate when I see it and I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Trying to give Ward the benefit of the doubt, but the fumbles he's had so far have been terrible so far. Yeah, he's not helping, his case, but he's also on a team that doesn't have really any help around him and a coaching staff that has been put together by duct tape at this point. So this year is a wash for the Titans. They need to get a whole new coaching staff, bring in some more weapons, move on from Calvin Ridley. Just start trading shit. Start trading shit and trying to get something back for it at this point. And I expect them to turn it around a little bit next year whenever they enter the new stadium. But this year it's a wash like last year with Will Levis. How'd our Jets offense get worse from Zach Wilson? Lions up 7-0. How'd it get worse? I mean, you bring in a first-year head coach, a guy who's clearly not head coach material. Like Steve Wilkes is more head coach material than Aaron Glenn. If in all reality, if they want to do this black head coach and black quarterback, black coordinator, whatever, flip them two. Not gonna say it's gonna make it any better, but just flip them two. Maybe you'd have at least one win. But the Jets, they are terrible, awful. Broncos Giants game is the biggest sell you ever seen. Said Denver New World Order headquarters. Pale white horse. You knew it was scripted, but you was listening to Cam and Mace podcast, and one of their journalists went out of their way to point out that Demaryius Thomas died at 33 and was inducted in the Ring of Honor. You know they already know, why they won and things like that. But yeah, 33 points, matching his age in one quarter. Like, really? All that, you couldn't do shit in the first 3 quarters of the game. You were struggling to move the ball, but all of a sudden you could just zip up and down the field. Really, both teams for that matter. And that's what really blows my mind about these NFL games is when you see the first 3 quarters of the game and the first half of the game, nobody can move the ball. It's a bunch of punting back and forth, maybe a field goal, maybe one touchdown. And then the second half, both teams can put up 25, 30 points. The Tua's contracts like Deshaun Watson. This nigga Tyreek had the audacity to say Tua was the most accurate quarterback, a top QB, top 5 quarterback in the league. We knew that was cap when he said it. Nobody believed him. Tyreek Hill didn't even believe that shit, and I'm pretty sure Tua didn't even believe that. He's like, why did you say that? Why did you go to the media and say this shit? Keep that in your head, Tyreek. Don't say that out loud. Now all this pressure's on me. The Jets better hope they have a Dan Campbell trajectory just like Detroit. Considering they've had the longest playoff drought in the NFL, it ain't looking too hot right now. At most, whenever they do can Aaron Glenn, they might be competitive next year, maybe sub 500, but that's a very strong maybe. Like I don't see them turning things around rapidly anytime soon. 38 with 225 or 259 left. Run the ball, try to get the first. If not, kill some clock and punt it away and make Denver drive the length of the field. No timeouts. Even the commentators said it. Mm, mm, mm. Did I see what Sean Payton said about chips in the ball in 2023 Ringer interview? Nah, I didn't. I didn't see that. What'd he say? Was he alluding to somebody missing a field goal and he said something about a chip being in the ball, like that motherfucker did the Justin Tucker where he just said this and just said nope, we ain't going in. So the refs just do not respect the Jets at all either. I mean, hell, who does? It's the Jets. They are the biggest laughing stock of the NFL at this point. I would say over the Dolphins, over the Browns, over the Cardinals. What's another irrelevant start? Shit, over the Bears. Like the Jets are just one bad mistake after another, after another, after another, and this has been going on for over a decade. Really, we had 15 years of this shit. The only time they had a glimmer of hope was with Aaron Rodgers, and we saw how that first year went. 4 plays in, out. The next year, Rodgers didn't do terrible, but at the same time, they were still losing games, but they were a lot more competitive than what they are now. The deflected pass for touchdown. Yes. In the Giants game, deflected pass. I forgot the dude's name, into the hands of the receiver for Denver, and that was their first touchdown. And they went for 2, of course. You know, while the Raiders thought bringing in Geno Smith was worth it, especially having only 67 yards. That's really because you look at who their head coach is, being Pete Carroll. They, they have that rapport, that relationship going back to Seattle. And if you notice with a lot of teams, especially with like different coaching staff changes, you notice certain players tend to go to that team. It's like, oh yeah, you used to play for him over on this team or that team. So I'm not necessarily surprised by that. If they had high aspirations with him, that's insane. And Geno Smith shouldn't be throwing the ball 50 times, really even 40 times in the game, period. Like that one year he was doing good, it was because they could lean on the running game and he could do just enough to not fuck it up. That second year, they got away from the run. They said we're gonna pass a bunch, and then it puts Geno in bad positions. The excuse for Herbert, especially after the Colts game, is something else. He on the clock too, not the same one as Justin Fields, but he on the clock because he's gotten the pass for quite some time. First couple years, I would give him that. What's his name? Brandon Staley with the really hairy arms, real hairy forearms. I'll give him that. The year they had all them injuries, I'll give him that. Now that you got Jim Harbaugh and a decent coaching staff, yeah, the excuses, clock's ticking. Oh, okay. So it was about referring to the chips. It's about tracking speed and where the players are on the field. Okay, yeah, I've heard about this with the ball where they use what's it called, the Amazon or AMS next gen stats on it. They can see how fast you run, how many miles per hour, how many actual yards you ran in distance, not of like football yards. Say you did like an end around, they track where you started versus making it all the way around. You made some niggas miss and all that shit. Yeah, they do that. And I remember they had them little blinking, flashing looking things. I forgot. They look kind of like I don't know ankle monitors and shit or whatever. You know that blinking thing they had during like the CV19 era was used for things like that as well. And like keep. But yeah, he underselling it because there's definitely more to it than just next gen stats. Tony Romo mentioned about chips being in the balls yesterday during the Chiefs Raiders game. A fan in the stands caught the ball and had to give it back. Yeah, was it a kick? Was it a kicking ball? Because that's the ones they get defensive about. It feels like some touchdown shit. Fan gets the ball from a player, they don't care about that. But if it was a kicking ball, yeah, you have to get that shit back. Same with college too. especially like say Neyland Stadium. They don't have a kicker's net, so when goes into the crowd, you just catch it. You gotta throw that motherfucker back. I want to see someone try to run off with the ball one time and see how far they get, because a lot of them event staff people about pushing about like 60. Like you could truck one of them. Most of them. The cops, I can't say that. They might fuck you up. You know shit bad when Mark Sanchez was your last glimmer of hope as a quarterback in the NFL. It's also funny seeing Jets fans crap on Aaron Rodgers when honestly they were at least not 0-7 at this point last year. Yeah, another thing about Aaron Glenn, even I don't really care for Aaron Rodgers as a person, but the way Aaron Glenn handled telling Aaron Rodgers, yo, you're not gonna be back as the quarterback, made that nigga fly out to see him in person to tell him this, and in so many words, tell him he's a cancer to the team. All of that shit could have been a phone call. All that could have been a text. Hell, all that could have been an email. So yeah, we're gonna call it the Rodgers curse for this year. Watch out now. The Broncos scored 33 seconds left in the game on their final drive. They wore orange, which equals 33, and scored 33 points. And I ain't gonna lie, them orange jerseys growing on me. I thought they was kind of ugly at first, these new rendition of the Broncos jerseys. Shit growing on me. I don't know if it's because I just naturally like orange as a color, but they growing on me. The way they win games, not so much. I don't expect a lot of this going on throughout the whole season for them. But the way they win games is ugly as hell. Let me look at their schedule. I feel like every win they've had has been like some ugly shit. Like the Titans was an ugly win for them. Overseas against the Jets, who we were just talking about, ugly win. This one, had it not been for the way it played out in the fourth quarter, if they won, would have been ugly. Hell, even the way they won against the Eagles. They're the ugliest 5-2 team in the league right now. Bengals is 28-3. I'll give them that. Yeah, every win they've had has been ugly as all hell, and they've won. Except for Dallas, they haven't played them yet. They won every game this month in October. Play the Cowboys at 4:25 on the 26th. Dart looked like he was point shaving. You don't give a fuck. If you're a rookie, you should be able to game manage a 19-point lead in the fourth. Oh, that's definitely point shaving. You should keep your foot on the gas. 28-3 is the best example of you should put your foot on the gas. And seeing a team clearly not put their foot on the gas. Bills fan ran off with the ball and they got him before he got to the exit. Damn. Should have juked a couple more of them. Cousin played for Louisville. What I think about the upset to Miami, we saw Carson Beck turn back into Georgia Carson Beck. 4 INTs, 4 of the ugliest INTs, at least in college, I've seen probably all year when you string them all together in one game. I forgot what YouTube channel did. I think it was Burgess, the one that like do all them George Pickens edits and shit. Did it, and it's just like every single one of them are just horrible. Horrible. And the other suspect thing about that game is the fact it's a Friday night game instead of like a noon game, a 3:30 game on a Saturday. Friday night when all this weird shit happens in college football. You'll say that the Falcons are better, or either the best team in the league, or they can be the worst of the worst. They're turning into what I looked at the Carolina Panthers as, that team that one week they could look like the world beaters, and the next week they look like one of the worst. You don't know what you're gonna get week to week from them. Carolina seems to have gotten their footing no matter how ugly of a win it is. But yeah, the Falcons, you don't know what the hell you're gonna get. I expected a little bit more of a competitive game as they played the Niners last night. That was not the case. I mean, they did have injuries, but still. That game was really San Francisco's to lose, if anything. So what did I not talk about? Oh yeah, Packers. They won 27-23. I was talking to Dale yesterday about that. The Packers love to play down to their competition. love to make sure all these games as close as possible when it should be a team they should be beating handily. That's one thing that does worry me about the Packers. I'm sticking to them, but that is something to watch out for, especially in the postseason. Cowboys won 44-22 over the Commanders. JD5 injured yet again. This might be the whole theme this season, so that's something to look out for with them. And you got to keep the NFC East a little close now that they are 3-4. The Cowboys 3-1. Got themselves a nice little division win. Actually, got a couple of them. Say it was a game ball. Mahomes overthrew it in the end zone. A fan caught it. They immediately had a ball boy go over there and hand the fan, or had a fan hand the ball over. I guess something. Hand the fan another ball and made him get out of them. Okay, that's kind of some hoe ass shit though. Like it's like we'll give you a ball, but not the one that Mahomes actually threw. It's like come on, bro. But it's eye raising. Both Rodgers and Salah got canned, and they both having success elsewhere. Salah with the Niners again, Rodgers with the Steelers. Said Brandon Graham is coming out of retirement for the. He need to just stay retired, bro. You went out on top. Don't come back. You don't need to. You know what you thought Carson Wentz would get it done versus the Eagles, especially when he throws like he's playing man. Man, Carson Wentz got some of the worst mechanics, I swear. Especially if we talking about like footwork and shit. Oh my god, it's terrible. Also, the Packers been winning with 27 points this season. See, 27 last week. Or this week, excuse me. 27 against the Bengals. 27-18, that is. 40 on the tie, 13 in the or 10 to the Browns in the loss. Damn. 27 against the Lions, 27 against the Commanders. Shit, they last preseason game total 27 points. They won 20-7. That's crazy. So when they score 27 points, they win. Scriptwriters better not change that shit up. Chiefs gonna be a win one, lose one, and lose one team. What you gonna say? They are a 1-2 team? What? What's good, Des Dixon? What's up with you? Said the books ain't letting the G-Man win money line. Well, they knew a lot of people would have been higher on them after the way they won against Philly too. Considering just saying you beat the reigning Super Bowl champions in dominant fashion on national TV, people were gonna be high on them. And then Denver, like I said, is whatever the fuck they are. 2 times 7 is 14. All that is 14. Shout out my guy B5 in the building. Say Baker downfall, like you said, gonna be a losing streak for Tampa. Bro, you just want every team in the NFC South to be bad besides the Saints. I get it, bro. I get it. You think as a Ravens fan, I would want to see the Steelers, Browns, and Bengals all just lose a shit ton of games, but I know it ain't gonna happen. It's okay, man. Y'all won the Super Bowl because the hurricane. It's okay. Y'all was doing good when you had Drew Brees. He's gone. It's okay. It's okay. Maybe Spencer Rattler might turn to something that can keep y'all afloat. But right now, it ain't looking too hot for the Saints, bro. So the Niners defense just proved that Saleh is arguably the best. I guess he's gonna say the best D coordinator in the league right now. The Giants almost did have you convinced for a second during that game. Yeah, starting out when they was up like 19-0, Scottaboo scored that touchdown. I was like, shit, these niggas might win. They might win, but ain't no way they're gonna shut them out the whole way. Something gotta happen now. Did I expect 33 points in a quarter? Hell no. Did I expect to be a little bit closer? Yes. But not 33 points in a quarter by one team. The thing is, Rattler doesn't look like he's playing bad. He really ain't playing bad for real. It's just symptom of playing for the Saints. And I couldn't even give you a table when I expect them to be. I want to say competitive, sub 500. I'm gonna use that. Competitively sub 500. I couldn't even give you a timetable for that for the Saints. It might be a while. It just might be a while. And it sucks to see that, Alvin Kamara there, VFL, but it is what it is. Not every team can be good every year. You know what? This because somebody said Baker selling and all that right now. They down 14-0. I'm gonna say entering halftime, they got 50-something seconds left. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks came back to win in similar fashion that the Broncos did yesterday. I don't know about 33 points, but I would not be surprised. Especially with the passing of Doug Martin and all this. They love that emotional win, that to honor a player, all that. That would be the best thing for Monday Night Football. The other game, I don't know, but who I pick? I think I picked the Seahawks. But that would be the best story to wrap up Monday night. Lawrence and Bo Nix are similar because you don't know what to expect. I can say this. From a performance standpoint, I agree. With the outcome and result of the team they play for, granted, it's only 1 year I can go off of for Bo Nix and almost half a season compared to Trevor Lawrence's multiple years. At least I know more times than not Bo Nix is going to come out on the winning end of things with Trevor Lawrence up until this year and the other year they made the playoffs. It was like, I don't know what the fuck finna happen. Yeah, they probably gonna lose. But you just really, really were doubting him. Funny though, because the Bengals could stay afloat until Burrow comes back. I still think they cook, bro. Like, I don't think Joe Flacco has enough of that magic like he did with the Browns to really just go off like that and hold it down like that. Did they look better with that shitty offensive line? Sure. He was getting the ball out quick. Veteran knows what to do. But I don't know how much of a float they gonna be. Because like I said before, it's the Steelers division to lose. All these analysts and journalists still saying the Ravens can win the AFC North. Do I see it happen as a fan? You don't, but they always giving away the script. I don't see it happening at all. Not at all. At 1-5, bro, hell no. Even if Lamar comes back and they rattle off a couple wins, no. Because the thing about the Ravens is once they get to, I think it was December. Yeah, December. That's when it gets kind of dicey. You got the Packers, the Patriots, the Bengals, the Steelers. And then in January, you got the Steelers again. They're not getting out of that unscathed. And they have a very, very small margin for error as it is right now. After the bye week, they got the Bears, who won a couple games in a row. The Dolphins, they are a train wreck. Thursday night football, too, so you really don't know what to expect there. Vikings, maybe JJ's back. Browns, second matchup. Jets, that should be a win. That should be a win. But I don't see it happening. Coming back in the second half. Well, they got 14 seconds and they down by 14. They need to do something. Get that goose egg off the board. The AFC North and East don't seem all that locked away anymore. I say the North still seems locked away as far as it goes for the Steelers. Since he can kind of make it interesting, but that's really about it. AFC North, yeah, that's up to the Patriots and the Bills. We know the Dolphins and Jets ain't got a shot in hell at that shit. And it's funny because Stephon Diggs plays for the Patriots, used to play for the Bills. He was already talking cash shit to the Bills fans, to the Bills sideline and everything in a Sunday night football game. So imagine in their second matchup at home, they're gonna be talking crazy. There's way too much money involved for any league to be safe anymore. Just about. Something like the Chiefs against the Raiders, there wasn't a doubt in my mind. I was like, yeah, these niggas are cooked. Like, there's no way the Raiders are coming back to win this game. Something like this on prime time. This isn't just a 1 p.m. game, but a prime time game between two potential playoff teams. Different story. See if Chase can make this 53-yarder. Yep. 14-3.5. They call it Thursday night game, the Icy Hot Bowl. Yeah. The Unk Bowl. It's weird seeing two quarterbacks that used to be on like PlayStation 2 video games playing. I ain't gonna lie, it makes me feel old. It's like I was younger watching Aaron Rodgers when he was with the Packers. I remember when Joe Flacco was a goddamn rookie. Shit, I remember when Joe Flacco played at Delaware. And I think he won a national championship for Delaware. I know he played in the Natty. FCS, that is, not FBS. Are the Jets even winning the game? I think they win at least one. If not one, they might fuck around and win two. But that's really about it. If they did go winless, considering the type of coach they have, I wouldn't be surprised. And if they gotta say a number one overall pick, that'd just be a waste. They've done this before. It'd be a waste. Don't forget to hit the like button too, because I'll be forgetting to say that shit. Smash that like button, RKO that like button, Stone Cold Stunner that like button, Sweet Chin Music that like button, Rock Bottom that damn like button. 619 that like button too, if I ain't say that. I can't even tell who that is walking right there. With the black dude in the gray. I really can't even tell who that is. Do not know who that is. All right, let me get to the standings. Obviously, things are going to change for these two games they got tonight. AFC East, you got the Patriots up top at 5-2. Bills 4-2. They had to bye. Dolphins 1-6. They're done. Jets 0-7. Speaking of winless. AFC North, you got the Steelers 4-2. Bengals 3-4. Browns 2-5. Ravens at the bottom 1-5. AFC South, you got the Indianapolis Overachievers. Colts are 6-1. Jags 4-3. They coming back down to earth a little bit. Texans 2-3. Obviously, that can change tonight. It's gonna change. Titans 1-6. They're done. Broncos up top in the AFC West 5-2. Chargers 4-3. Chiefs 4-3. Chargers got the tiebreaker from week 1. Raiders 2-5 at the bottom. They done too. They a sideshow. NFC East, you got the Eagles at 5-2 up top. Cowboys at 3-1. Commies at 3-4, and then the Giants at 2-5. Obviously, some things gonna shake up in that division for sure. NFC North, you got the Pack at 4-1-1. Lions at 4-2. Their record's gonna change after the night, regardless. Bears 4-2. Vikings 3-3. Look at that, all them 500 and above. Look at the NFC North. NFC South, you got the 5-1 Bucks. Gonna change after. Panthers 4-3 in second place. Panthers, wow. Falcons 3-3. Saints 1-6 at the bottom. They cooked. NFC West up top, you got the Niners at 5-2. The Rams 5-2. Seahawks 4-2. Obviously can change tonight. Cardinals 2-5. Again, they are cooked as well. But they do seem to have a little bit new life with Jacoby Brissett. Hey, hold on. I'm gonna get to you, Blue Tower Tech. 6-7 the like button. Damn right. Hey, we got a 6-7 reference. That's what's up. 6-7 the like button. So odd seeing the Patriots lead the East, but something similar to what happened that happened in 2021. It is weird seeing them like winning, like consistently winning games, and I guess convincingly winning games. It is weird, especially when we went. We it was like real comfortable, real chills, like very enjoyable to see the Patriots suffer, especially when Bill Belichick was there and Brady was gone. It was cool. I was like, that's what's up. Then the Chiefs came along. It was all right. It's cool the first couple of years, kind of annoying. And now that seems to be settling down a little bit. And now the Patriots are back with Mike Vrabel, and I don't hate him much anymore. So the Colts are an anomaly. We know why, man. Jim Irsay passing. That's what that is. Which really makes me curious as to how far they're gonna go this year. Because I say there's gonna be a game when it looks like the New York Giants, Daniel Jones in the playoffs. If they made a whole Super Bowl run, that would be crazy. With Daniel Jones, the quarterback, that would probably be the greatest comeback story for a quarterback of all time. That might be better than the Nick Foles shit, if that did happen. But that's a big if. That's better than what Baker's doing if he pulled it off, or they pulled it off. This season is truly just anyone can beat anybody, unless you play the Jets. Apparently, the Jays losing tonight, Seahawks losing, Kraken lose, Mariners to their first ever World Series. Okay, something similar to the AFC standings back in 2014 occurred. Who do I think is the best team in each conference? You don't see any convincing teams yet. I can tell you one I don't think it is called New York Jets. As far as the AFC goes, who do I see is like, yo, this team right here, that's the team to be for real. Honestly, the Patriots, they up there. That's the team. I'm like, shit, these niggas right here, they really cooking. I'd like to say Buffalo too. I mean, bye week. I say really between one of those two teams. Steelers, they've shown their flaws. Even in they wins, they didn't show their flaws. Bengals, I mean, they can't keep a quarterback healthy for shit. Joe Flacco gonna need all that icy hot. The Colts, I do look at them as an anomaly, though they've been doing their thing, but I look at them as an anomaly. Broncos, they just win too ugly. They win way too unconvincingly. NFC, who is the best team? I can't say the Packers right now. Really, if we really looking, I would say I'd nail it down to the Rams or the team we watching right now. Oh, I forgot Detroit's one of them too. I was really meaning the Bucks, Tampa Bay. So they pushing these white QBs hard. They've been doing that. That ain't nothing new. They've been pushing white quarterbacks. Who was winning all them Super Bowls if it wasn't Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Doug Williams, Jalen Hurts? Who was winning all them Super Bowls? Colts, Bucks, Super Bowl. I don't really see it. I wouldn't be too mad at it. I feel like if they did have this Super Bowl matchup, it would provide some entertainment. It would be a down to the wire game for sure. But I don't see it. Because I'm still kind of on the fence with the whole Baker winning the Super Bowl thing. Somebody's mentioned in Discord. He already won a Heisman. I know about the Tom Brady commercial at the what's this shit called? Not buffet. Fancy dinner. I cannot banquet. There we go. At the banquet when Tom Brady just handed all his rings, like, hey, hold these. And Baker was like in amazement holding all the Super Bowl rings. And he took over for Tom Brady after he retired. Colts, I mean, you know what's going for them too is the fact the Pacers did go to the finals. If they want to do that, the usual thing they like to do was say a baseball team from the same city goes to the championship. The same year, say a hockey team, or the same year a football team does. They can do that, but I think there's gonna be a game where Daniel Jones plays like the Giants, Daniel Jones, and it's gonna be at the worst possible time. Lions versus Colts to the Super Bowl. We call it the Jim Caldwell Bowl. I think the Lions already peaked though. Like they're exciting to watch. Don't get me wrong, but they've already peaked after that NFC Championship game. They peaked. That was their win. Was leading at halftime, and CJ GJ talking all that shit to the fans, and Dan Campbell cost them all them points when he should have went for it. But point shaving. Antonio said Chiefs are going back and gonna win yet again. Are they? Are they? I've seen this comment before, like in years past. Are they? People said that shit last year too. So, are they? Rams also kind of went through a little rebuild in 2020, in 2022, 2023. It seems like, yeah, they had that like one bad year. That was the year Baker came in for a little bit. Chiefs definitely not make it back to the Super Bowl. If anything, this past Super Bowl proved that too. Yeah, they know that people got Chiefs fatigue. They know people are tired of seeing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, especially after the way they was winning all these regular season games with all the favoritism from the refs, all these late game calls that just happen to go their way all the time. Yeah, people, they off that, bro. Mahomes said they were going back during the past Super Bowl, and the color has their color. Dak Prescott also said the Cowboys are going to the NFC Championship game this year too. So, okay, Niners going to the Super Bowl at home. So soon? Because we just did the back to back with the home winning the Super Bowl with the Bucks and the Rams. So soon to go back, like, because then it's gonna really raise some eyebrows. If it didn't already with the two back to back home winning Super Bowl teams, that would really raise some eyebrows. Like, this has happened within a very short amount of time. So the whole script this year is a Chiefs revenge narrative. You've got them in a rematch versus the Niners, bro. They know people are tired of seeing that shit. We've seen it enough. We're not seeing the Niners and the Chiefs again in the Super Bowl. This is not the Warriors versus the Cavs 5 times in a row, or how many fucking times it is. Logo also has the Ravens colors. They're in the Niners and Chiefs. Super Bowl 58. I know a little purple and shit in there. That didn't happen. And that's another thing. They didn't key in on that color shit too. Like they've tried to debunk it. You've had announcers even last year, and I think the year before that, about the colors, like making little slick comments about it. And the NFL trying to jump in front of the whole color narrative. That's why they threw all these it's San Francisco, of course, why they got the rainbow, but that's why they put as many colors as possible on there to throw people off. Because that whole colors narrative could go for other teams besides just say the Vikings they have purple. There's the Vikings on there. The Ravens got purple. I think they got some yellow. That could be the Packers, the Steelers. They got some blue. Like you see where I'm going. This basically they covered every team on there as far as I know. Maybe I don't know if there's orange, but I don't know about green either. They got a little bit of green, but anyway, they trying to sidestep that shit. But that's their own damn fault, to be honest. Maybe you should have had different teams play when you were doing the turquoise and the red instead of the Eagles and the Chiefs, or whenever last year you had that small lines of what was that lime green with the white and the red. Maybe you should have went with different teams if you don't want people on your ass about them colors. But that's the same shit with that whole scripted thing, how they try to joke with it, and then all of a sudden they're like, nah, we gotta downplay it and shit. And they don't even run them commercials anymore, if you notice. Said Dart is the new great white hope. That's Blacks and Dart. He ain't one of them. He one of us. That's Blacks and Dart. Don't let the fact he from Utah fool you. That's a whole nigga. Steelers real was gonna have Pickett and Fields as franchise quarterback. They didn't have some whiffs at quarterback since Big Ben left. They got lucky with Aaron Rodgers, but yeah, they didn't have some whiffs. Kenny Pickett being one of them. It was like a good story. He played at Pitt, so he got to play at the same stadium he did in college. Cool. Hands too small. Justin Fields. Honestly, that whole thing blew up when he decided to go to the Jets. Because the plan was for Fields to sit and learn behind Russell Wilson. That was the initial plan. So he can actually develop behind somebody because he never got that chance in Chicago. Then he said, "Nah, I want my own money. I'm gonna go to the Jets." Smart move, man. I mean, you got your money, but smart move, man. Go to a team with a first year head coach, an unproven first year head coach at that, and one of the worst organizations in the league. What could possibly go wrong? So represented her album. I forgot the name down, but she did have some album with purple on it. It might have been an album with numbers, like in the title. I don't remember. I don't listen to Taylor Swift, but I remember she did have an album with like purple on the album cover and shit. Nick Wright has a bulletin board on FTF again this season. Every time he's had one of those, the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl every time. Cool. Mason Rudolph, that's another one. I forgot about him. Oh yeah, that's one who got hit with the helmet by Myles Garrett. That's right. And they had Duck Hodges, even though he wasn't supposed to be the starter. Third stringer ended up having to play. But yeah, they had a lot of whiffs, man. So the Niners had their chance in Super Bowl 54 against the Chiefs and 58. 58 was their best opportunity at it. And lost both times with double-digit leads. I'm adding on to what you're saying. The Kyle Shanahan special, if you will, call that. No double-digit lead is safe if Kyle Shanahan is your head coach, especially if it's in a Super Bowl. Falcons know this. The Niners know this too well. I don't know if he ever gonna win one. If he finally gets, repaid for all of this shit. Maybe farther down the line on some Andy Reid type shit where he finally gets one. Because Andy Reid with the Eagles, he never won one. He came close a lot, NFC Championship game, and then finally broke through in the Super Bowl, but lost to that man they call Tom Brady and this team called the New England Patriots. If I recall, didn't Sean Payton call Russell Wilson a thug one time, like during they little disagreement when Russell was still there with the Broncos that last year when he got scapegoated when it wasn't even really his fault whenever they lost and didn't make the playoffs? I want to say he did refer to him as a thug, which I was like, Russell Wilson, the stepdad, that Carlton, that's a thug. All right, Sean, you telling on yourself without realizing it. Double covered, man. I get that's a buka, but damn. But that say a lot though. That does say like give off like Bill Polian vibes. You remember what he said about Lamar? Nick Sirianni really won a ring before Kyle Shanahan. That is some crazy shit. Because when you think about it, they always refer to Kyle Shanahan as this offensive guru and this offensive genius, which they kind of throw that shit around a little too much. They said that's about Mike McDaniel. He's an offensive guru. They've said this about Shanahan, Sean McVay, but he did win a ring, so he's absolved of that. But yeah, they throw that shit around a little too much. Of course, Andy Reid gets labeled offensive guru. He got the rings. He got the shit. He got the whole career to back that up. But yeah, Nick Sirianni got a ring before Kyle Shanahan. That was a really weird time. Hyping up Bailey Zappi and Mike White. I don't even know if Mike White's in the league anymore. Bailey Zappi, as far as I know, is still with the Browns. As I don't know if they're third string or they back up because you know how they doing the whole Shadur thing. But yeah, that was a really weird time. So I remember Mike White had a hell of a game when he was with the Jets. I forgot how many yards he put up. Maybe it might have been like 300 and something. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but it was a good ass game. And it was like Mike White, nigga, Mike White. Most basic ass name. Sound like a creative player. All right, so in an older interview, I did hear because this came from him that he did have a drinking problem back like when he was a little bit younger, like and he kind of got that shit taken care of. I don't know about now. I'm not saying he is on nothing. I don't know, but he did say he had a drinking problem in the past. I don't know if he went full Sarkeesian, where Sarkeesian had cleaned his shit up, and now it's not an issue anymore. I don't know. I just assume he high as hell in a press conference of anything. Either that or he been playing with his nose, one or the other. I still don't know if anyone's looked more out of sorts than Adam Gase, though. Adam Gase, that one where his eyes was doing all that, or even the first press conference, I was like, this man might have either he snorted something and then took a tab afterwards, and the tab kicked in while he was on stage, and he just lost his shit and got overwhelmed. Because that'd be a really freaky, um, paranoid driven way for shit to kick in as mid press conference, especially something that altered your vision and things like that. But yeah, Mike McDaniel, I don't want to speculate and say back on the drink, but something ain't right. That's all I'm saying. Something ain't right. Oh, they still pushing this Colin Kaepernick shit, bro. Like he 30, what is he 36? He got gray in his beard, bro. It's over with. They let that shit go. He not coming back. Kaepernick's comeback is like the Detox album at this point. It's never gonna happen. It's just something that the media wants to bring up to talk about. Like, should Colin Kaepernick have a chance? Like they could use Justin Fields as a perfect segue into would Colin Kaepernick be a better starting quarterback than Justin Fields for the Jets? Like that's where we're at with Colin Kaepernick at this point, is comparing him to Justin Fields. But he ain't coming back. He got his money. He got turned into a hero and shit. Yeah, you can't come back and fuck that up. So Denver could be a surprise team. 33-point fourth quarter comeback. Had a fourth quarter comeback to give the Eagles that 666 loss to the pale horse. You know what? That would be something. If you referring to them going to say the Super Bowl, their last Super Bowl was at Levi Stadium. Obviously, Peyton Manning and Demaryius Thomas, the late Demaryius Thomas, was on that team. That way, that would be something. And Bo Nix I think he's married, and he got the look too. If you know what I'm saying, he got the look. The Giants lost, especially with special teams. Remind you, the Commanders versus Giants last season in Week 1 when they didn't have a kicker. I think that was game Neighbors. He dropped like a crucial pass in there too, solely because they didn't have a kicker. It's 14-9. Why in the hell are they going for 2 this early? Yeah, it don't. There go Tez again. It don't make no sense. Actually, speaking of Bo Nix, this is his black brother, his adopted brother. But there's no reason they should be going for 2. No reason. I get you want to make it a 3-point game, but like, dude, no reason. No reason whatsoever to do that. One for 3 on 2-point conversions for the season. Threw it to a dude who's clearly covered. Looked kind of like a jump pass too, the way Baker threw that. Broncos versus Panthers Super Bowl 50 was terrible. Yeah. It's one of them games where, like, if you like defensive games, that's for you. If you like offensive or a consistent even flow, that was not for you. That shit was that was bad. It didn't put me to sleep, but it was bad. The worst one was still the Rams versus Patriots part two. That shit was atrocious. Everything, the halftime show, the game, the fact that Todd Gurley didn't even play, but we didn't know what the hell's going on. A niggas got told, hey, you ain't playing, you sitting out. Kind of like Malcolm Butler against the Eagles. That is the worst Super Bowl I've ever seen. You could throw in the Seahawks throttling the Broncos, and that game was over at halftime. Still not as bad as the Rams and the Patriots. And for the most part, Goodell don't really have, or at least put out bad Super Bowls. If you talking about like the entirety of the game, there have been some halves now. It's like, yo, this ain't it. Like the second Niners and Chiefs game, that first half was boring as shit. I was like, man, what are we doing? I gotta get some points, score or something. I don't. At this point, I don't care who wins. Just fucking put up some points. But yeah, that was bad. Let's see, Steelers, Packers, that wasn't bad. Most of them really ain't been bad. Even if it was a team I ain't even want to win, like when the Patriots beat the Seahawks, they gave you drama. I might not like the team, and most people didn't like the team who won, but shit, they goddamn gave drama. Can't say there was a shortage. Even when they turn off the lights in the Super Bowl, which should raise a lot of people's eyebrows as to how the Niners magically came back. They gave you drama at the end. Shit, I guess that was drama too, was the lights going off because it was just some weird shit that's never happened. Toss up between the Bronx and the Seahawks that John was done by halftime. Who performed that halftime show? Wasn't it Taylor Swift? Or she was one of, I want to say Taylor Swift was one performance for that Super Bowl. I think it was her and a rock band. I don't know why I want to say Coldplay. Or no, Coldplay was on with Beyonce. That's right. Super Bowl 50. Still believing that a new team is gonna win a ring this decade. I think so too, because the new teams won every decade. They're kind of like the opposite of the NBA, where the NBA is kind of leaning more towards a new champion, or at least they crown the younger stars. But they like to sprinkle in the small market teams in the mix now. Super Bowl so far has just been the same couple teams, and they might sprinkle in a new team here and there. Like, yeah, yeah, here you go. Eagles pass was the last exciting you could remember. Rams Bengals wasn't bad. Eagles Patriots, the thing I liked about that was it was something unique. It was I guess the backup quarterback story. Like, I mean, we've seen it before, but that whole run, the fact it was against Tom Brady and the Patriots, and we got a lot of offense in that game. Whole lot of offense, trick plays, the Philly special, which they threw into Madden, and it's still in Madden. I don't know why that play honestly kind of sucks, but that game, it's one of them plays that they threw in Madden. So that's cool. You saw Tom Brady try to catch a football and fail miserably. I can never get tired of that. So yeah, that was a decent Super Bowl. Don't forget about the Chiefs versus Eagles last year. That one was bad until they made it interesting at the end. It was never interesting at the end. That shit was over with. Even when they put up the 22, that shit was not close. Shit was done. That shit was done at halftime for real. From an entertainment standpoint, if you hate watching, say, the Chiefs, sure, you might have liked that game. But if you wanted like a close competitive game, oh yeah, you was ass out on that one. They said, fuck that. This team finna get belt to ass. The first Niners and Chiefs game wasn't too bad. Obviously, the Chiefs made a comeback. And honestly, that was pretty predictable. Let's be real. Kyle Shanahan, I think they mentioned the 28-3 because it was Fox broadcast. It was the same one who covered it whenever he was with the Falcons with the 28-3. Which actually, that's probably the most dramatic one, really. Even if actually that was the first one to win in overtime too. That was the very first Super Bowl to go into overtime, and the last one was the Niners and Chiefs Part 2. But yeah, 28-3. The fact I had a Falcons fan that I was living with, that's what made this shit even better. I couldn't stand the Patriots, couldn't stand Tom Brady, but to see my roommate go from talking shit, talking crazy shit, to the third quarter happening, simmered down a little bit, a little concerned. To the fourth quarter, this nigga is not talking shit anymore. He is in full-fledged panic mode. And by the time they went to overtime, he didn't mail it in yet. Like most people, when they see their team go over, like, shit, this over with. It's overtime. We know what time it is. He was like, fuck. But it wasn't. We lost. It was, we might still have a chance, but it's very slim. Oh, and when what was it? James White scored the touchdown, game-winning touchdown. Oh yeah, he went straight to his room. And I couldn't help but laugh, man. That shit was too funny. Tom Brady runs like his shoes are cement blocks. Real shit. Watching Tom Brady, Peyton Manning too. Watching either of them run makes you feel like you could run at least 10 yards faster than him. Part one was fired to that last drive. I say the part one was a little too predictable. Score wise, it was definitely, entertaining for lack of a better word, but just the overall how it played out, I wouldn't necessarily say that. Yeah, Cardinals Steelers was a good one too. That was you can't beat that. You had Larry Fitzgerald with the long TD reception. You see him looking up at the scoreboard at the jumbotron at himself running. You think that's it? Kurt Warner could win one with the Cardinals, one with another NFC West team. Nope. Santonio Holmes' feet, one of which was not in bounds, but they ruled it a touchdown. Not my business. Said otherwise. And that was the last black head coach we've had win a Super Bowl, which is really fucking sad when you think about it. That's 15 fucking years. A Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer type Super Bowl MVP. Man, hell, touchdown Detroit. Jahmyr Gibbs. They let that man score for real. That weak ass arm tackle. All right, Tampa, I'm gonna need you to channel your inner Denver Bronco, your inner Doug Martin, Demaryius Thomas, whatever you want to call it. Clock is ticking. Allegedly, of course, allegedly. He got the funny last name, so he got a pass, and for some reason we just never bring it up. Or the mainstream media never brings it up. But that dude in Cleveland gets crucified for it. Kyler Murray is starting to get hate. I thought he been had hate ever since the whole Call of Duty shit. I thought they said fuck that nigga. And what makes it worse with Kyler Murray is the fact that Jacoby Brissett is outperforming him. If it was, say, I don't know, a young rookie or something, it'd be like, all right, maybe we got some, but we lucked up. Kind of like Brock Purdy type shit. No, it was a fucking veteran. A veteran who wasn't known for starting for a bunch of teams long term. What's good, Trebo? So I think there's something fishy about Bryce being injured and outright. Going right into the Buffalo Bills game, it seems fishy. Panthers versus Bills. I don't know if I necessarily say fishy, but it's safe to say them niggas might be cooked. I don't think the Bills will drop to 4-3 fresh off the bye week. Unless the Panthers put out a performance like they did against the Falcons where they put up a 30 piece, which I don't see. They was up 28. And Jacoby Jones should have been Super Bowl MVP, but goes back to what I think you said or somebody said about pushing white quarterbacks. So, and you obviously couldn't give it to Ray Lewis. He didn't deserve it. But storybook wise, that would have been dope. Is Tua done with the Dolphins? He been done. He been done. That contract's a motherfucker though. That contract is a motherfucker. And honestly, that's kind of the thing with certain teams. Like when you get a quarterback who has, say, one okay year, maybe two, and then the rest of the time they don't perform up to that level, you kind of just handcuff to them. Especially if you gave him the big money. Like Seattle with Geno Smith after that 1 year, it was like, damn, you kind of handcuffed to him. Because I had friends who were Seahawks fans, and they're like, man, I cannot wait for Geno to be off this team. Like they turned on him so fast, it was not even funny. They didn't even give him a whole second season with the Seahawks. No, by like game 4 or 5, them niggas were done. They're like, man, fuck Geno. We need a new quarterback. That fast. Anyone ever knows how the most athletic quarterbacks don't ever win anything like Lamar, Josh, and Kyler. Because they get treated like show ponies for real. Like either A, they get on the team, but they got a bad offensive line, so they got to run around a bunch, which is entertaining for the viewer to watch them juke this nigga, spin this dude, break this tackle, and do all this to get a first down. You have to put up 300 yards to almost win the game if they don't win. Shit, think about Deshaun Watson in Houston. There was a lot of times he had to play hero ball. So yeah, I see it, and then they want to keep the image of the pocket passer intact, which after Mahomes won, and really Jalen Hurts, that shit's kind of been shut down. The last pocket passer to win the Super Bowl is what Matt Stafford. The slow chubby Mahomes is the greatest quarterback in the league. If it's Tony Romo talking, he gonna say that. He gonna say he's the greatest. That's what I hate about Tony Romo is they always have him covering. It feels like just Chiefs games and just Bills games at this point. If it's CBS, I'm like, bro, can y'all get Fox on this shit or something? Like, I'm not trying to listen to Tony Romo talk about Patrick Mahomes and damn near bust a nut when he talk about Josh Allen. Like, bro, like get somebody else, please. Or just have him cover all the Cowboys games. I don't give a shit. Do that. But get somebody else, please. Exactly. We in this microwave time where it's like, what have you done for me lately? Teams or people are asking, is so and so a bust after like 3, 4 games and they are rookie? It's like, god damn, bro. Like that's 4 games. That's a very, very, very small sample size. Like I've seen people as Cam Ward a bust. I mean, shit. You play quarterback for the Titans and see how good you fare. You tell me how that goes. How much time in the pocket you gonna have with that shit ass offensive line? What's your passing percentage gonna look like when you throwing the Calvin really dropping shit? To two is too short to be a good quarterback. Drew Brees, that's not an issue. That nigga got a noodle arm and he don't protect himself. And that's the biggest thing is all them damn hits he takes that he don't need to take. Justin Fields, same shit. He don't protect himself. Even though Justin Fields ain't, small. He slick looked like a damn wide receiver out there for real. And the only one who thinks or doesn't mind Greg Olsen, you think he's underrated. I agree. I like Greg Olsen as an announcer. For sure. I prefer him over Tom Brady. Brady, he's okay. At times he says like some questionable shit, but he's alright. Greg Olsen, though, I rock with Greg Olsen as an announcer for sure. Like when he first got in the booth, I was a fan of him. I think the only one I really didn't care for that was like a recent player that got in there was Jason Witten. And if you don't know why, just go on YouTube and look up Jason Witten Monday Night Football announcers. You'll see, or shit, go on X, Twitter, whatever. You'll see exactly why. 2021 season was definitely a fever dream, especially with Cam Newton coming back to the Panthers. They need to stop bullshitting and retire his jersey for real. And they did him dirty as hell too. The terrible player too. It got to be from CTE. Say Brady talks too damn much. I know, like, as he's supposed to be the analyst. He's supposed to be the one that gives all the his extra 2 cents and shit like that. It's just he just says some, I guess, some weird shit. Not even on the like sus shit. It just be like weird shit. Like, huh? I remember Tony Romo when he first got in there. Everybody loved him because he could predict plays. It was like light. They called lightning in the bottle, and they made him the highest paid announcer and shit like that. And then it got to a point where CBS had to come in there and be like, "Hey man, you got to tone it down with this trying to predict the game shit. Like, cool it on that shit." And ever since then, he really just been a Mahomes, Josh Allen Glazer, and that's really about it. So tonight, the Bucks, Seahawks, Blue Jays, Mariners, all teams starting around 76, 77 are on tonight. As we know, ALC has game 7. While the Dodgers, they resting up. Been rested up because they swept that ass. It's also funny because if the Eagles had gotten Russ like they wanted or got rid of Hurts, they wouldn't have had this ring right now. Hey, that locker room would have been very interesting if it was Russell Wilson in there. Ain't no telling what kind of stories you would have heard or what type of, say they did have AJ Brown. There he definitely throw his ass under the bus. He already done did it with Jalen Hurts in very subtle ways. Russell Wilson, I don't think he would hold back on that one. He'd throw his ass clean under the bus because he ain't get the ball enough, even if they won by 20 points. We need to pass the ball more. Nigga, he put up 400 yards. That's on you. Similar to the Jags, Chargers 27-0 half. Oh, that was bad. That was bad because Lawrence threw some picks in that first half, too. He threw a handful of picks. And that basically summed up the Chargers' whole existence in LA. Sanchez was an already analyst. I can't think of anything memorable Mark Sanchez as an announcer. I ain't even gonna hold you. It might have been something where I was watching the game and he was announcing. I just didn't realize that's who it was. Yeah, let him hang around like what's his name? Aiden Ross. Let him hang around Aiden Ross or something. Oh, they both gonna say some such shit. Yes, Chris Collinsworth. That's another one I cannot stand. Is Chris Collinsworth because he do that Pat Mahomes shit too. It could be teams that don't even have the Chiefs in the game, not even related to the Chiefs, not in the same division, not even in the same conference. A quarterback can be tying his shoes. He'll find a way to connect that to Patrick Mahomes. Oh, look at the way he's tying his shoes. He's getting game ready like Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, God damn, bro. He's not even playing. It's a bye week. What are you doing, Chris? Damn. I still ain't forget what you said in the 80s, Chris Collinsworth. About like little girls and shit, but that's a whole nother story. John Gruden, hey, yes. John Gruden was like that's one of those voices whenever I heard his voice on Monday Night Football, it just stuck with me. It's like when I think of Monday Night Football, John Gruden was one of them voices. It's like how Sunday Night Football used to be Al Michaels was one of those voices. You just hear that, you see the NBC, Al Michaels. And at one point, Monday Night Football, Al Michaels and John Madden. But yeah, John Gruden. And he got a YouTube channel. He like break down defenses and play call. John Gruden loves his X's and O's. And it never gets old. I don't know, it's just that voice. He just got one of them coaching voice that can break some shit down. Like I feel like I'm a player on his team whenever John Gruden is breaking down film and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go in the game, man. Shit, I gotta get my helmet. Let's go. Manning's are way more entertaining. Of course. They got into the film game. They executive producers of shows and shit now. They got what's that? Chad Powers is one of them. Eli got the little prank show where they put on prosthetics and they like prank fans and things like that. So yeah, they got their shit going on. Then Peyton's Places, and I think Eli had Eli's Places. Peyton Manning got some executive production with WWE. I think that might have been Stephanie's places. But yeah. I mean, granted, Peyton Manning went to school for communications. He's a teacher at UT. Makes sense. But yeah, Tom Brady, I don't think he really found his thing after football. I think that's what that is. Kind of like Drew Brees wasn't really cut out for being an announcer. I think that's why he went into politics. That was more his thing. I mean, the quarterback brother battle. How many are there now, if any, really in the league that you could even do that with? I really don't think there's any. Damn. I don't think there's any. Having Dennis Miller and Tony Kornheiser as a Monday Night Football analyst was peak cringe. I don't even remember Tony Kornheiser doing that. What? That is a weird grouping. I could barely tolerate him on what was that? Pardon the interruption. I think that was it. I think it was pardon the with Michael Wilbon. I could barely tolerate Tony Kornheiser on there. Said Rome Miles of Glaze Mahomes like Rayola Glazer. Rayola takes it to a whole nother level. Cause like it's not just talking about him like Tony and Chris do. He tries to copy every little detail about him. That's what really gets me about Raiola. It's like you try to walk like him, you try to dress pregame like him. You had the haircut that he had. I guess he kept his. I don't know if he cut his hair like Mahomes just did. We might see that soon too. You try to do all the plays like the diving on the ground when you about to go down, flicking it, which is careless as shit. He got away with one against, I think it was Minnesota. I ain't gonna lie, that was a nice ass pass, but like everything, the celebrations, it's weird. I ain't gonna lie, it's weird. I get you wanna mimic a player you like and shit, but there's a point where there's some things you don't have to copy. Yeah, he do. Say Brady is nothing outside of football. Dude looks lost. I feel like he could do something like if he did YouTube, like maybe a podcast, he'd be straight. Announcing, not so much. Because with a podcast, you can kind of go at your own pace. It's whatever. And you got 20 plus years of football experience. You could tell some stories. You could break down the game with film like Chase Daniel does. Like there's a lot of things he can do. But as a really he ain't even play by play, but as an analyst, yeah. Not right now at least. Maybe just focus on ownership. Who knows? They really packed John Gruden out the league in 2021. They did him dirty for real too. I wouldn't be surprised if he found his way back in the NFL though. Dylan Rayola versus Mahomes in the future. That's the brother combo. Nah, one might say that nigga might be a stalker, bro. He might be a stalker. I'm joking. I'm not serious. But as much as Rayola glazes Mahomes and tries to copy him, bro, I wouldn't be surprised if whenever he does, I guess he gonna get to the league. Whenever he does get to the league, he gonna try to buy the house that Mahomes maybe used to live in if he got a new home after the contract and shit. I wouldn't be surprised. Brady only got mentions because I Show Speed got him on an episode. Yeah, I remember they pulled up on the boat at Brady's spot. By the time Brady's already mainstream, he really didn't even need the streamers. If anything, it does reach out to the youth, like a lot of these Hollywood people they do. Since Hollywood ain't got the same kind of juice. If you was a Will Smith or Marlon Wayans or whoever, now you got to go on the streamer shit to reach out to the people. Say Gruden blackball like Kaepernick. Kaepernick got paid off. He ain't really get blackballed. Tom's face is too facey. I've never heard anyone say that. To be an announcer, almost blinding. I've never heard that reference. Two Face. You know what he might actually be good at? He would be good as like a. He'd be better as like one of the analysts, like at the actual game, but in the actual booth, like say like Fox, CBS, how they have like the pregame, postgame show, the halftime show. He'd be better off doing something like that. I think he couldn't fuck that up. Get him with Gronk or somebody he got chemistry with, he'd be fine. Play by play, at least not now. But they paying him so much money, so for now he's here to stay. Baker going off also proved that it wasn't just Brady, and it was just they needed someone who won't throw it to the opposing team 30 times a season. Of course, you ain't gonna win shit throwing the ball 30 times. It don't matter. Even if you put up 33 touchdowns, you ain't winning shit. Cause damn near half the time they gonna fucking score. Especially if you don't score, then you're really screwed. Said Brady should take those from MJ. Stop trying to stay relevant after sports. I mean, shit, MJ coming back now and he's not doing play by play, but as an analyst. And Michael Jordan, his shoe keeps him relevant. He don't really got to make all these crazy appearances and shit. His shoe gonna live forever. So I wonder how these ties with the Cowboys and Packers gonna play in the season. I wouldn't be surprised that shit definitely played a role as far as a NFC East or maybe NFC North in the divisional race by week 17, week 18. Baker gonna have a scripted comeback. Hey, time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. The Ravens run the table like A-Rod did in 2016, leading this banged up team to an NFC championship. Yeah, they ain't running no damn table. They ain't running no damn table. They busting tables. That's about it. They ain't running no damn table. They are cooked. Especially when you look at how bad the defense is. Like, even if they get Lamar Jackson back because they act like that's just going to make everything better. Offensively, you can probably score more than 3 points, sure. But it don't help in your defense giving up 40 points to the damn Texans and shit. So this year's a wash, man. The Patriots got a favorable script in 2025 Vrabel comeback year. He really shouldn't have been fired in Tennessee, to be honest. Have Josh Allen tying the game and then gets pissed off about it. They're going to change the rules real quick. They really do be changing the rules like a motherfucker. Whenever something happens to the Bills, rules do seem to get changed. Enough fans, enough people bitch on social media. It's like, all right, here, damn, we didn't change the shit now. You can't say nothing. Jaden Daniels super injured this year. Yeah, man, he can learn how to slide more. We talk about this shit at LSU. Nigga slide. Because there's some times he got fucked up just playing hero ball. It's like, dude, just go out of bounds, stop being a hard headed, or just slide. Obviously, there are times when, say, there's a dirty hit where you sliding and the defender just barrels into you, like Teddy Bridgewater. That's what really just derailed his whole career. Justin Fields yesterday just sliding, got barrel rolled to that. Like, come on now. You predict the Panthers win 8 to 9 games this year. That actually might happen. Yeah, I think they're gonna be, a competitive team. Interesting matchup. I'm still confused how LSU is ranked, but anyway, yeah, they've been winning some ugly games. They won some convincing games. The fact they were able to actually string together some consistent wins was really the big difference. Because that's the one thing that kind of worried me earlier in the years. Like they'd win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Now they win. They winning some games. They won on the road finally. So there's that. They got to keep their quarterback healthy though. and keep pounding that rock. A-Rod got blown out by the Falcons in 2016 NFC Championship game. Yes, he did. And that's what fueled my friend talking crazy shit like he did in the Super Bowl after how the Falcons beat the Packers before they played the Patriots. That's in his mind, he had to make it up. We didn't beat Aaron Rodgers. Now we're finna beat Tom Brady. I'm like, all right. Yeah, I'm good, man. Appreciate a buck 20. What's good with you? The Giants also be praying that Dart don't get hurt because they don't want to see Wilson out there. Hell no, they don't. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see it, or he gonna have to, you know, play like shit again, just to prove that Dart should have been the starter. What do you think? But there's really a lot of teams like that. Like in college, you can kind of get away with that. When your quarterback go down, you might have a freshman or a sophomore or whoever that they can hold the fort down while the players hurt. NFL, a lot of teams don't really have that luxury. There are some that do, but most that don't. Like Tampa, I wouldn't say so. Detroit, who was it? Kyle Allen? Hell no. Seahawks, I forgot who they backup is. I don't even know if it's Sam Howell if he got moved. And he kind of unproven anyway. The Bengals, they're one of the teams they can kind of get away with that shit with Joe Burrow. They deal with Jake Browning for like a game. Steelers got Will Howard, so they don't really know. It's kind of a question mark. Rams, fuck no. Jimmy G, I don't care. Jimmy G, hell no. Jags, no. Patriots is Josh Dobbs. It's not the worst. Titans, it don't matter who's playing. Saints is Tyler Shuck. They're fucked. Bears is Badgett. They be straight. Dolphins, I legitimately don't know who the backup quarterback is off top. Browns, they already own a backup quarterbacks, plural. We know who one of them should be if Gabriel were to go down. Panthers, I think, still got Andy Dalton. Correct me if I'm wrong. Jets, Tyrod Taylor, they need to start that man. Eagles, they be cooked. Vikings already on their backup. Raiders, Kenny Pickett, yeah, they screwed. No matter what, the Chiefs would be fine. Just no matter what, they would be fine. Giants, we already talked about them. The Broncos, screwed. Colts, Richardson's already on IR. Chargers, we've seen that before. That's a hell no. Cowboys is Joe Milton. If you like a dude throwing the ball 80 miles per hour and he ain't gonna hit his target most of the time, hey, be my guest. Commanders, they did have Marcus Mariota, so I'll give them that. Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett should be starting at this point. Packers will be screwed. Falcons, they got Kirk Cousins, but for how long is a whole nother story. Niners, they on their backup, who should be starting too, but there's a few of them. Man, he gave me vibes like Tennessee Josh Dobbs on them runs. Can I do a video breakdown on Rima? Who, who or what is Rima? Sanders should go to Miami. He'd be screwed because he holds as hell as it is anyway. Eagles usually do have a good backup or two. I don't remember who their backup is this year. I know Kenny Pickett was one of their backups last year. Actually, now I want to know who is their backup. Oh, it's Sam Howell. Go figure. And Tanner McKee. Sam Howell. Okay. Only place where it actually work out is in San Fran with Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, we know that. Yeah, that ain't. That's between Mac Jones and Glock Purdy right now. But that would be funny considering Richard Sherman went to the Niners from the Seahawks. Obviously, was on a Super Bowl winning team with Russell. Thought the Falcons were gonna win by double digits, just like Fran after the Falcons blew out the Packers in the NFC Championship game. Do I fuck with the Monday Night Football doubleheaders? Usually, I don't mind too much if it is like they stagger them like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. But 10 p.m. is just fucking ridiculous, dude. Like, there's no reason on a Monday you should have a football. I don't care if it's NFL. There's no reason for no game to be starting at 10 p.m. NFL. I don't care because you know they're gonna be on some bullshit too, where the game gonna go down to the wire. They might squeeze overtime out. No, I don't like that. I'm not crazy for these 9 a.m. games either, to be honest. The Pats only winning because the Celtics won't be good this year until Tatum comes back from injury. I think they one of the teams that they advertise on the little Amazon Prime shit too for their debut. They call Tanner McGee the Mormon Missile. Damn, that's a dope nickname though. I ain't gonna lie, the Mormon Missile. That's crazy. You got the red rifle, now you got the Mormon Missile. I don't remember if the Seahawks cut him or if he got traded there, but I know the last team he was on before that was the Seahawks. Sam Howell it is, and he kind of I don't want to say a weird quarterback, but like he had flashes with Washington, and then it looked like he was supposed to be the starter for the Seahawks, and that ship sailed expeditiously. They're like, nah, nigga, you a backup. You hold the clipboard right here, man. If we need you, you can grab Jalen Hurts' ass and push him for a first down, if anything. But really, they got this man as a emergency quarterback. Mm. Oh, okay, Vikings sent him there. Seattle traded him to the Vikings because that's how they got Sam Darnold. That's right. That's how they got Sam Darnold. Then the Vikings sent him to Philly. Okay. What's good, PJ Allen? What's up with you? Russell Wilson gonna replace Geno in Vegas. Talk about full circle. That would be a full circle moment right there. Mm. But I could see that happen. Absolutely. Though you say it was the Vikings? Okay. I mean, still an emergency quarterback. I feel like that's worse. You an emergency quarterback. It's like we probably don't need you, but just in case, there you are. Like it takes some shit like the Steelers had when Duck Hodges became the quarterback for him to get on the field. These reviews on the plays actually been elite this season. I don't know why I felt like they was gonna overturn that touchdown that the Giants had with Jackson Dart dove for the goal line against the Broncos. Mm. Tyler Lockett got released. Niggas saying he washed, but to be fair, every old head is washed once they go to the Titans. He was already kind of washed up them last couple years in Seattle anyway. But yeah, the Titans, them and the Ravens have a bad habit of doing this. I don't know who's worse about getting receivers that when they played on X other team, They was a Pro Bowler, but when they get to this team, all of a sudden they are. I can't even say all of a sudden, but it's like they well past their prime. Because the Ravens have had a handful. They've had people from Deshaun Jackson, Dez Bryant, DeAndre Hopkins. They've had a handful of receivers past they Crabtree, past they prime. Titans at one point had Randy Moss, but we all like to act like that didn't happen. And in my mind, that shit didn't happen. I don't know where I would find a number 18 Tennessee Titans jersey with Moss on it, but I damn sure don't want it. When I think about Brandon Graham coming out of retirement to rejoin it, stay retired, bro. Just chill. Do what Aaron Donald's doing. Just stay retired. Don't come back. You went out on top. Don't fuck it up. Blackson darting his gold chains. And of course, you can't forget about Mr. CTE himself, Cam Scatterboo. He might be the first running back who is trying to get CTE if he don't already have it. Yeah, they did have Julio. I forgot about that. They had Julio Jones. He was well washed. He had like a nice touchdown catch with him against the Seahawks. But yeah, he was well washed after that. And I know not Falcons fans, Titans fans was hyped when they first got him. They're like, oh shit, we got Julio Jones. We're gonna be straight. Nope. Nope. That wasn't the Julio you thought you was gonna get. That was a Timu Julio. So Miracle in the Meadowlands was done by the Giants. I thought there was more to it than that. Green's later years. Was it just the Cardinals that he played with after the Bengals? Because I don't remember him playing for. I know he didn't play for the Ravens. But who was I talking about? Titans. That's right. I feel like he quietly retired too. That man, 37. Somerville, South Carolina. Yeah, that was it. Bengals 2011 to 2020. Cards 2021 to 2022. 7-time Pro Bowler, 2 times second team All Pro. But he did have some, big catches from time to time with the Cardinals for sure. T.O. was good until Buffalo. Seeing him in a Bengals jersey was weird enough to me. Was it entertaining that was him and Chad Ochocinco, two of the biggest shit talkers in the league, two of the biggest personalities from a wide receiver standpoint in the league, two of the best TD celebrators in the league on the same team. That was cool. That was cool for Hard Knocks and shit. But Buffalo T.O. was like, I don't even know you anymore, bro. Like the Bills? And this is before the Bills was relevant and good. Like this is when they was ass. Like the Bills, bro. Shit was painful. Devontae Adams still holding it down too. I know things look ugly with the Jets. The Raiders, he was getting all them hospital balls from a certain quarterback that plays for the Rams as the backup now. But he ain't fade off. He's still good. Hmm. No one even close. No one even close to the vicinity. And it's shit like that where they keep teams in the game. 'Cause I feel like NBA, that's a lot of time, like say 10-23 in the game. That's a lot of time, say if it's the fourth quarter. NFL, that feels like an eternity. Or football in general feels like an eternity when you have that long, especially because the points you score a lot more. Wow. The points you score, or every time you score, it's gonna be more points than say 2 or 3. A doink is crazy though. Baker over here like, yo, what the fuck? What the fuck? Let me see that again. Oh, that bitch went in. I don't know. I don't know what he thought, but that shit went in. Jake Bates, he's like, thank God the man saved my ass. Dan Campbell's like, I took the points. And I got the points. They can't say I should have went for it this time. I still don't think this shit over with though. If for some reason this is the game, let's say a blowout, next game gonna have some fuck shit. But like I said, 10 plus minutes, that's an eternity. That is an eternity in an NFL game. Especially after what we saw yesterday. Mariners up 3-1. Hmm. Jays fan, you seen this coming. Toronto chokes in game sevens. Dan Campbell better not script it. That's what he's good at, man. You already know. Especially when he gets overly aggressive. The fuck? Hold on. When he gets overly aggressive in situations that don't call for it, that's a Dan Campbell special. Flip side, you got John Harbaugh who gets he'll go for it and be aggressive from time to time, but he'll be overly conservative too. Or just make some outright questionable ass play calls in crucial situations. All right, there we go. 9:42 left. I find it funny though in baseball they have a game 7 on one end and on the other end they're like, nah, we're just gonna have the niggas sweep. Close it out quick and the other one drag things out. Kind of like some shit you see in the NBA, except the NBA overall product is just trash. Like it every now and again they have some good shit, but most of the time it's sorry as hell. To Dan Campbell, to Mike Vrabel of the NFC. They kind of got similar personalities and shit like that. Both players, former players, clearly players, coaches. They're very, I guess, hands on. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that a little bit. And for the most part, a lot of the former players that become head coaches, a lot of the players tend to like playing for them because they understand the perspective of actually being an athlete versus being a coach. I don't know if that would apply to someone like actually Jeff Fisher too. A lot of players, I don't know about quarterbacks, but a lot of players have said that they like playing for Jeff Fisher, which I always thought was weird. Like Mr. 500, you like playing for Mr. 500 Jeff Fisher? All right. I know Vince Young didn't like it though. I can tell you that much.
That's not a good look. Late game injury for the Bucks. That's damn sure not a good look. Especially if it's somebody like Hassan Reddick. Yeah, that's not good. So Andy Reid was a quarterback. It makes sense, all the offensive schemes and shit and play calls and how creative he is. That makes sense. Looking at his the fact that he fat as hell, I'd have a hard time believing that, but he got the football mind to match. That's kind of like Josh Heupel, Bobby Hill. That whole time, this nigga was what, national player of the year at Oklahoma, almost won a Heisman and shit. So you ain't got to stay in football shape just to be a coach. Man, who are you throwing to? Yeah, like Ted Johnson, 7 feet tall. Baker fired that shit. Like, bro, what are we doing? Did you see Doug Martin somewhere and try to throw him the ball and honor him? Like, that shit was high as shit. Looks like Mahomes getting the third MVP bar in politics. That's one thing this year has exposed is the fact that somehow Mahomes is a favorite for MVP when throwing in the coverage. A favorite for MVP when your team is sitting at 4-3. Like it went from Danny Dimes to now we at Patrick Mahomes. Obviously Josh Allen too, but Patrick Mahomes. And they were saying this shit before they even won yesterday about him being a favorite for MVP. It's like it's damn near like the NBA All-Star voting. It's a popularity contest. Granted, a lot of things can happen within the next couple weeks, and things can change. He could fall out, and then say Josh Allen or whoever else might emerge if the Colts keep this up the whole year like they've been doing. It could be, but I really think if anything, he win like Daniel Jones. It is be like comeback player of the year or something like that. Oh, at least he caught it. When I see Baker play, it kind of remind me of Brett Favre. He be firing that motherfucker too. Like every time I see him throw that ball, I'm like, he about to break somebody's fingers when they try to catch this shit. Like it looks like he's playing dodgeball, but instead of aiming for the legs and like the lower area, he just aiming up top for the head every single time. The power to be of the NFL took out Doug Martin for speaking up out of his NDA contract. What did he say? Because I was watching. Who the hell was I watching? It might have been the Raw Room podcast or something like in the last week. And Doug Martin came up, and at the time, I didn't think like he gonna pass or nothing. I was like, I wonder what happened to Doug Martin. It was just on my mind for some reason. And then lo and behold, the news broke yesterday. What did he do regarding his NDA? Did he say something kind of like what's his name? Benny Cunningham? Did he speak out like that or like a Larry Johnson? Let me see. There's a defensive end with the same name. That's crazy. That's like it's all vague as hell though. Like when you look at his cause of death and shit, they hella vague. That's already suspect in itself. Dowell in police custody. Yeah, that's suspect as hell. According to Oakland PD, the home was at the center to be two separate emergency legend break-in and a medical emergency. When police arrived at the scene, they found a person inside the home, later identified by officials as Doug Martin, former Tampa Bay running back. Officers in Oakland placed him in custody. During the process of detaining Martin, Oakland PD said a brief struggle ensued, but the former NFL star was eventually placed in custody. While in custody, the Martin allegedly suffered a medical emergency and was pronounced unalive at the hospital. Boy, that's some who the, man, bro. Who do they think we are? Who do they? This is like the young Scooter shit, where he was hopping the fence and then he bled out and that was his call. Like, who the fuck do y'all think we are, bro? Mm, mm. Damn shame though. R.I.P. to Doug Martin. You sure you ain't talking about Dwight Smith? Because that's what I think you talking about. Because he played for the Bucks. He's still alive too. But yeah, that story sound a little fishy. You know, a little bit fishy. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And Doug Martin didn't play in the Super Bowl. He played for the Bucks from 2012 to 2017, then 2018 with the Raiders. Hometown, by the way. So I don't know, you might be getting Dwight Smith confused with Doug Martin because Doug didn't play in the Super Bowl. Broncos cornerback to which one? Unless you thinking of what's his name? I don't know if he was a run. He wasn't a cornerback. I feel like I'm thinking of what's his name? Darren Williams. Yeah, Darren Williams. That's right. 'Cause his cause of death was a quote unquote gunshot wound. But no, they've been getting a lot of NFL players up out here recently. Really, ever since 2020, they've been one after another, after another, after another. They'll pepper in some like older football players you probably never heard of, at least if you younger, never heard of, or you really had to Google this person. Like, who is this? And then there's been some names you were familiar with, especially if you were younger, like your Ryan Mallett, Alex Collins, Doug Martin, Vontae Davis, like names like that. But mm, Doug Martin played for both one-eye teams or pirate-based teams. I think a Raiders a pirate. I don't think they got a ship, but they got a little eye patch. But yeah, basically the two, I guess, pirate-based teams, and two of the teams that John Gruden coached too. If you think about it, because we know John Gruden got traded from the Bucks to from the Raiders to the Bucks, and won the Super Bowl against Bill Callahan, which is ironic considering the Raiders lost yesterday too. He died on the day where the Raiders lost. And going back to the Titans, Brian Callahan, the son of Bill Callahan, got fired after they lost to the Raiders. Mm. Dungy too. What? What about Tony Dungy? What about him? Oh, coaching. Yeah, coaching the Bucks. Yeah, he did, and he got done dirty too. Mm. That was a good hit. That nigga selling bro. The way he overthrown and shit, that man's selling. Especially the one in that back corner end zone when he seemed to have Tej Johnson open. I'm like, what are you doing? You know you can put a little bit more touch on that. Cause I've seen Baker make some crazy ass throws. Hell yeah, it is, man. It's a dirty ass game. So refs making the game close. As they should. If this one ain't gonna be close, then the next one gonna be close. But as they fucking should. Make this shit entertaining. Make this shit go down to the wire. Maybe don't go full overboard like you did with the Denver Broncos, but like, make it entertaining. This 10 p.m. shit, I really don't care what happens. Cause that's just bullshit that the game even starts at 10 p.m. on a Monday. Bucks and Raiders played each other Super Bowl 37 in 2003. I remember that game. That was a Super Bowl I did not enjoy watching at all. When we were talking about like Super Bowls that we didn't really care to see, that wasn't really Roger Goodell's era. That was actually that was before Roger Goodell. But still, I did not enjoy the game itself. But that was famously where Jerry Rice and Tim Brown said that Bill Callahan sabotaged the game for the Raiders by changing the play call or the offensive scheme from we gonna go run heavy to we gonna pass a shit ton against a team who's good at defending the pass. And we saw they got pick sixes galore. And John Lynch's exact words was to John Gruden on the sideline was they're running the exact same plays we ran in practice. Yeah, I mean, shit. What else is on? I was gonna probably watch. I might speed watch Monday Night Raw. See if it wasn't a rerun of the shit that's been going on the last 2 fucking months. I might do that, and then check in on the score of the Seahawks game, and then go from there. And if it gets good, just flip over to that. And if not, I might just watch Monday Night Raw in the morning. You don't think you ever remember a cleanly non-scripted one? Of course, there's not one. I'd say this though. Last year when the Eagles put belt ass on the Chiefs, that was probably as close as you're gonna get as far as recent time because they really just proved the point that the Chiefs weren't shit without the refs last year. Mm-mm-mm. But yeah, that's about as close as you're gonna get. I said the Steelers was gonna be the team that had all the drama that was gonna be the soap opera. Apparently, it's the Miami Dolphins. They are the team that has all the drama from Tyreek Hill, which I guess he's a little bit more quiet now since he's injured, and then that quarterback who people ain't even used to hearing talk for real is the one who is talking all. Damn, they coach got hella dreads. That's crazy. Damn, we're gonna miss my dreads. Okay, but yeah, Tua over here talking and shit like, yeah, we gotta do this better, we gotta do that better. I'm like, my nigga, you threw 3 picks today, you threw 3 picks last week, you threw 3 picks before that. At some point, this weed shit needs to turn in the eye. And as for Mike McDaniel, he kind of got his hands tied behind his back because it's like, shit, you paying him all this money, so you can't sit him. You could, but you get fired quicker. So yeah, you damned if you do, damned if you don't. And now it's looking like a fire sale where A Chain might be traded and all these other pieces might be going here and there. And it's crazy considering the one dude who wanted out is still there. What's good? OG Pontiac, aka Tom Walker in the building. What's up with you, man? What's up with y'all, man? All right, what is it? Second and 8, 24 to 9, 418. If only it was 420. Damn. Unless they do some dumb shit, they should kill that clock. But for some reason, NFL coaches magically forget how time management works. If this was Aaron Glenn, God knows what would happen. Trying to see what was on that dude's glove. I don't know, like 24 and something else. I might have misread that. All right, 3rd and 7. What you got? Quick throw. Didn't even make it to the line of scrimmage. Well, that's one way to keep a motherfucker in the game, but okay. Watch the Lions and the ALCS. How much time they got, or I guess how many innings? I can't say time. Just curious. End of the 6-3-1. How many games Jets gonna win this year? Somebody asked me that earlier. I said 2 max. If Justin Fields remains a starting quarterback, assuming he don't get hurt or benched again or something, maybe 1. But if it's Tyrod Taylor, their odds go up a little bit more. Probably about 2. Because Tyrod Taylor fuck around and win you 1 game at least. Hmm. All that you can just get like 3 yards on a return is crazy. Oh, they got a black GM. I ain't know the Lions had a black GM. Named Brad Holmes. Brad, that's crazy. I would never guess his name was Brad. Shout out to the man Brad Holmes. Looking real studious up there. He's like, I'm evaluating shit. He looked like Anton Daniels for real. He made some smart draft picks too. Brian Branch, Laporta, Kirby Joseph, Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's not bad. All right. I see you. Okay, now all of a sudden the Bucks can drive all the way down the field. I mean, they need multiple scores, but still. They determined to make this shit close. Clock ticking though. I got 3:30 something left. Brian Flores is right about Tua. He got too much hate from fans telling the truth about Tua. I think it was because, for one, was that not Tua's rookie year? So you still get that, you're in that grace period. But also the following year when Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins had an offense and they looked like they were doing good. It's bad timing. That's really what it's just bad timing to say what you said. Even if you were right. It's just bad timing. And sometimes it's right message, wrong messenger. Like if Hugh Jackson came out to say anything to criticize any head coach, even if it was true, we talking about a coach. What did he go two wins with Cleveland, 2-31 or some shit? It's Right message, terrible messenger. Oh, he an A&T Aggie. Okay. I ain't know that. Shout out Brad Holmes. This will be the Mariners' first World Series appearance, the only team to never play in a World Series. What? I thought they played at least one back when they had the little M that looked like a trident. Ain't no way. See, that's what I like about baseball. Even if I don't care to watch baseball a whole bunch unless the Dodgers are playing, they at least ain't afraid to mix it up with who's in the World Series. It like you get the Diamondbacks and the fucking Rangers. There was that stretch when it was the Astros, but even then there was other teams like they ain't afraid to throw the Rays in there or give the Braves one. That's what I like. They not afraid to finally break the streak or the drought that the Cubs had. They weren't afraid to do that. They weren't afraid to break the drought, the curse of the Bambino the Red Sox have. No, they went overboard with all them damn World Series, but still, I do like that they willing to mix things up a little bit, give it a little bit more parity than say football or I guess NBA trying to do better, but they overall product dog shit. He thought Tua was up next as a top 10 quarterback for the next 5 years. I definitely didn't think that shit. I thought he would have fared better than what he's doing now, but I wouldn't have said he gonna be a top 10 QB for the next 5 years. Hell no. The Ichiro better than Otani. Otani does both, my boy. I like Ichiro. He a legend and shit, but nah, bro. Otani. What's good, Baker Six? What's up with you? Yeah, we already talked about that. Kenny, who your team? Who your baseball team? You a Mariners fan? Curious, who your team? All right, the fastest these niggas get that damn 2 minute warning. Let's go. Cause if it ends like this, that 10 p.m. game gonna have some fuck shit. Cause it's the least the league could do at this point. You're gonna have a fucking 10 p.m. game. Your team long. Who's your team? No, they don't tell me shit. Your team long gone. Who is your team? I ain't asked where they at. I said who is it? That's some crazy shit to say, man. That's wild. Yo, that's crazy, man. That's some shit I expect from the Cowboys with Jerry Jones. Hold on. That is crazy. That man said Jeter. See how I can win another. Pull the Lakers like they did with Kobe. That's crazy. It's been discussed, but I say it is solely because 33 points in one quarter is just ridiculous. Like it's just not believable. 28-3 is hard to believe as it is, but even then, they was at least scoring some points in third quarter and shit. 30, that's crazy as hell. 33 points. Uh uh. The Ichiro sounds like those names you hear on animes. Hell yeah, it is. Like when I hear the name Ichiro, if I didn't know who he was as a baseball player and shit, I'd picture like a dude with some spiky hair, probably red. He got like a black, I don't know what it is those samurais wear, but he definitely had one of those on. It'd be like some white on there, have like a red design. I feel like I'm describing the anime character that already exists. Probably somebody from Inuyasha or some shit. And he got the shiniest, sharpest sword you ever seen. And he don't even have to make contact with the sword to fuck people up. He just makes the gesture to chop and like it shoots energy and shit and just cut shit up. Like they show a scene, this man is in the forest, in the woods somewhere, first learning how to use this shit. He just do like and then you just see these things just go across and just slice a shit ton of trees into 9 to fucking 10 small pieces. And they're like, oh shit, this dude is the real deal. We can't fuck with this dude. And then the whole thing is like his own journey, starting from being this humble samurai to being like the best of all time at this shit. I feel like I described Samurai Jack without realizing it. But that's what when I think of Ichiro, that's what I picture. A cold ass samurai. NFL be making games that realistically would not happen, like Broncos scoring all them points in one scripted quarter. Baker, your main op, ain't it? Baker's definitely your main op. I can tell. Just like the Knicks will be close, but won't win a chip either till somebody like Big Walt Clyde Frazier gets the axe. I mean, we've said this before though. Just because somebody passes, don't necessarily guarantee you're gonna win a championship. Especially NFL. You know, there's a good amount of Ravens players that have died, been unalive. Excuse me, since 2020. And every single year is so and so died. Jacoby Jones passed. Tony Saragusa, Ryan Mallon, Alex Collins. What's his name? I feel like I'm forgetting one. All this one dude always slips my fucking mind. But whoever the case may be, so and so passed. So that means it must be the Ravens year. And we done seen that shit ain't happened. So not always the case. I feel like the Knicks, it'd take like an event. Something like an event would have to happen, not so much one player. Samurai Showdown. Shing! This Monday Night Football game ended in 33 points. These motherfuckers strike again. These motherfuckers strike again. Let me find out this 10 p.m. game going in with 33 points too. Need a Pats Colts AFC Championship game, but we'll probably get another Chiefs Bills. That's like the new generation of that matchup. It's like, yeah, Peyton versus Tom. Now it's copy and paste Josh versus Patrick. Except we ain't got no snow. And I think we got snow one time. We can get like all them snow games and shit the Patriots and Colts used to have. We need more snow. So well, the Bucks have a losing streak now, lose a lot of games. Seems like betting bait. I don't think they're gonna just lose a bunch of games. You gotta remember, Bronze is a Saints fan, bro. Misery loves company, so you know he gonna pray for the downfall of the Falcons and Panthers and who else in that division? Bucks, yeah. I don't think so too. Like it's not like they lost some sorry ass team, bro. Like they lost to the Lions. Now, if they lost to a team like the Jets that week, like they had the Jets and made a comeback and won, maybe a little different conversation. Like, all right, man, might need to start thinking about hitting the panic button if they lost like a string of bad teams, like I don't know, Cleveland, Miami, the Raiders, and shit. Then it's like, okay, might need to be a little worried. I ain't gonna say it about Baker, boy. I ain't gonna say what I was gonna say about Baker. I ain't gonna say it. But y'all finna get on up out of here, man. The 10 p.m. game, Seattle's up 7-0 right now. It was at 7:28 in the first quarter. But yeah, man, it's been fun chatting it up with y'all and all that stuff. We're gonna be back this week. You already know pregame pick 'em on Thursday. Stay tuned for that. All right, make sure you drink water, wear protection, wear protection, wear protection. I gotta say that 3 times nowadays.